To my black brothers and sisters out there that are the ones that are posting all this, oh, we just gonna mind our business. And I saw somebody earlier making t-shirts of like a group of like 6 black people, black men and women, sitting on a bench texting on phones while the country is burning up behind them. Let me explain something to you guys. Let me explain something to you. When they get done with the brown people, they'll be coming after you. And if you don't think that's true, you got another motherfucking thing coming. This is bigger than you, okay? Because let me explain another thing to you. You sit back and watch millions of brown people be kidnapped and removed from this country. When they do come after you, there's going to be nobody left to stand up for you. And when they're coming after you, how are you going to feel when people are sitting on the sideline like, oh, we just going to mind our business? Fuck all this other dumb shit. Man, no. It's not the time for that. Power to the people. It's time to come together.
Black people, after they done with the Latinos, you next. Huh? Next. We been on the chopping block. Like, you can tell that we all been living in separate Americas. Separate Americas, because why does everybody keep saying black people, you next? They've been on our heels for 400 plus years. Black people, you next. You know what? Can you imagine being in a relationship with the biggest narcissist in history? The biggest, right? Every time you go to school, he undermines you. When you buy a house, he undermines you. When you get healthcare, he undermines you. God damn, when you can't go to the gym, you can't go to parks, you can't go to the goddamn beach, you can't get healthcare, you can't get childcare, you can't do shit. You can't cook chicken, you can't eat fruit, you can't do nothing. Every angle that you live in life has been targeted. Understand that black people will always fight for Latinos. Our struggle is intertwined. Like, understand this. But we don't gotta worry about being next, because we have been their fixation for hundreds of years. We still are. And you know what's the most heartbreaking thing about this whole thing is that Mexican people in black history, American history, have been some of the only people to show up. They were the biggest part of black liberation. And always and forever, I will always give Mexican people that respect. But since then, Latino people have been falling so far into white supremacy that is sick. You have been showing colorist behavior to your own people. You have been showing colorist behavior all in the hopes of having white proximity. All the anti-black jokes that you hear growing up, you're talking about your own people. Just because you say Prieto, Moreno, or Negro, don't make it no different. All those sayings, bettering the race, cleaning the blood, washing out the black. This is a part of a Latin culture, and it's sad, and it needs to stop. You want to know what's the first step of liberation? Stop that shit. Stop trying to have proximity to whiteness. You're not them. And if you want to know the results of this, just ask the question of what happened to all the black people in Argentina. There were a lot more. And yeah, you may have a sprinkle of Spaniard, but you ain't that. And I'm sorry to tell you, there's a reason why you have an indigenous or African nose and kinky hair.
When I see people making comments and videos saying, oh, black people, referring to black Americans, don't get comfortable because you all are next, they're coming for you next. It's like, there's nothing the government can do to black Americans that they have not already done, that we are not already, privy to. I mean, for one, slavery, but we are already an oppressed class. We've already had to deal with, systemic racism, right? Black people get harsher prison sentences, we're paid less, police brutality. Even when, segregation was a thing and black people were thriving, they burned our towns down, they flooded them, they literally poisoned black people, they used us as freaking test dummies. There's nothing that they can do to us that hasn't already been done. There's a lot of people of color who, they know that they are inferior to white people, but as long as they're superior to black Americans, they didn't care. It's like, they don't really like us, but at least they don't treat us like the black Americans. They don't treat us like that, so I'm cool. They separate themselves from being black, right? We're people of color, but we're not black. We're not American. We're not descendants of slaves. Like, they just tried to separate themselves from us and, make themselves feel better than us. And now that, all the focus is on them and getting them out and, they're being severely mistreated. I can agree to that. Now they're upset. Y'all are more mad at the fact that Black Americans aren't under attack than you are that your people are under attack. You're more focused on our reaction. Don't get comfortable because you're next. You're next. And it's like, why is that your thought process? Why is it always us that it comes back to? Because you can acknowledge that in this country, Black people, Black Americans specifically, are treated terribly. We are oppressed. We are seen as trash, garbage. And you thought as long as they don't think that I'm one of them, I'm cool. And now they're looking at you like you're worse than us, trying to send y'all back to, y'all countries, saying horrible things about your countries. Now you're mad at us. You're mad at us instead of the people who are doing it to you.
That man thought that they cannot look out for his face. Power to the people. They're going to come after you next. They're going to come after. Let's see who is going to come after Black Americans. I don't know how you people grow up with these imaginations of, oh, after the Latinos, after the Hispanics, after every single person, they are going to come after Black Americans. Hello. Anyways, let's go continue this video. Credit belongs to original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. With that being said, let's continue watching. I'll be back with commentaries.
The reason why y'all want Black Americans to be affected by ICE so bad is because y'all are still convinced that we are immigrants, and we are not. We are not. We've been here for over 400 years. And for most of us, our ancestors have been here even before the slave trade. Most of us have American indigenous lineage that we can actually trace because a lot of our families were reclassified from Indian to Negro. And there's proof that we were reclassified. We are not immigrants. They can't send us back nowhere. Where they going to send me back? North Carolina? South Carolina? Georgia? Florida? That's the only place that we can go. We're not immigrants. This is not our battle. Furthermore, most of the people who are now being deported or most of the people that are immigrants here have always had a stigma against Black Americans. We're lazy, we're dirty, we're ghetto, we're loud, we're uneducated, we're this and we're that. But now that ICE is outside, we're supposed to be on the front lines of the same people who come here with these mentalities about us and don't even know us. I don't understand that. This is not our battle. This has nothing to do with us. And all the Black Americans who want to go outside and put themselves on a front line and risk their lives, that's on them. But don't expect for the majority of us to be out there risking our lives for something that don't got nothing to do with us. Now, when it comes to immigration, me, myself, I don't mind immigration as long as it's legal. I worked in the immigration office for a period of time back in 2016. And when I say there are hundreds of thousands of files of people trying to get into this country, and I'm talking about people who have been trying for 15 plus years to get into this country the legal way. And they still haven't been able to get in yet because of whatever is going on. And yet we're trying to be pressured to fight on a front line for people who jumped in front of all of those people, okay, and cross borders illegally. Right now, if I take my ass to the Mexican border and think that I'm just going to cross into Mexico, there's going to be consequences and repercussions for my ass if I get caught. If I try to take myself to the Canadian border right now, there's going to be consequences and repercussions if I do that illegally. So why is America expected to be the country where people can just come in and out as they please undocumented. We don't know who you are. We don't know what's going on. We don't know where you came from. We don't know if you're running from something. We don't know if you're a prisoner somewhere else and now you over here trying to sneak and hide. We don't know what the fuck is going on. Furthermore, let's look into how many black women have been unalived by illegal immigrants. One of my good friends is the sister of Dakara Thompson. Dakara Thompson was a 19-year-old beautiful woman, young woman, who was unalived by an illegal immigrant. He raped her, he SA'd her, he unalived her, and then threw her off a bridge. Okay, this was back in the late August, early September of 2025. So this is rather recent. Okay, and her family is now in court dealing with that. The gag to that story is that same illegal immigrant that unalived that beautiful young lady had been caught on a DUI a couple of months to a year before that, if I'm not mistaken, and nobody checked to see if he was actually supposed to be here or not. So he could have gotten deported and that baby girl would still be here. So no, this is not my fight. This is not our fight. We are not expected to be on the front lines for everybody, while everybody continuously disrespects us and undermines the things that we have going on. We have all of these people who are of Caribbean heritage and so on and so forth in politics that speak against reparations because they say it's not fair or it's going to put us in debt and all of this other shit. But then we're also supposed to go fight for you? Are y'all crazy? No. This don't got shit to do with me. My people have been here. I myself have my tribal ID because I did the work for my genealogy and traced it back and was able to prove that I'm indigenous American. And a lot of us have. So no.
Hear me out. I want y'all to hear me out. So you remember people kept saying, but you guys, what are you going to do when you guys are next? When black people are next? Because after us, what are you going to do? Because they're going to be after you. So you are that unaware about what's been going on in the black community for centuries that you think that we haven't been oppressed. Are you kidding me? That blows my mind. And you expect me to run to want to help you? Our babies been getting snatched up out our arms. Our houses been getting burnt up. Our fathers been getting killed. Our mothers been getting raped. We been getting charged with stuff we didn't do. Kids been getting snatched up and locked up for crimes they did not commit. So when you see me say, I'm stepping back, this y'all fight, y'all got it, I sincerely mean it. I'm resting and I'm raising my children. That's what y'all did. And you still don't get it. Crazy.
Y'all know when Latinos and Hispanics be like, black Americans are next? They really thought that black Americans are immigrants. And that explains why they voted the way they voted. They tried to get us up out of here. But I gotta say to the Latino community, not only did your ESL classes, but the American educational system failed you tremendously. Because black Americans are not immigrants and we're not going anywhere. And this is how ill-informed they are. They really think because they're in the middle between black and white that they're white adjacent. When that's far from the truth. It's only 3 categories that's broken down in this country. You have white Americans, you have non-whites, and you have black Americans. The people in the middle, y'all just extras in this movie. The main characters are the white Americans and the black Americans, and sometimes the Native Americans make a guest appearance. This country spent too much money, trillions of dollars, in painting black people as the bad guys. That's the default. To even get rid of black Americans. As sad as that may sound. And you know who's catching on quick, who's learning the game real quick? Africans and Caribbeans. That's why they're cosplaying as black Americans. They're not cosplaying as black Americans to trick us, black Americans. They're doing it to trick white Americans because they don't want to be deported.
So, sis, let me get this straight. You really believe that ICE is just gonna start grabbing random citizens off the street, just random brown people off the street, and throwing them into, like, I don't know what, like camps or something, and profiling that? Even if they profile you, so what? Once you prove that you're a citizen, then you're gonna be let go. So that's still nothing to worry about. I'm talking actually being worried about something. Okay. The fear mongering is just not for me. I mean, honestly, if ICE comes knocking on that door, I'll be like, hey, how are you doing, sir? Here's my birth certificate. Here's my this, here's my that. Have a nice day. Not worried about it. I am not worried. You cannot pay me to be worried about anything. Like, I really be wondering, like, what world do y'all live in? Like, y'all are like living in some type of like I wouldn't even call it a fantasy world. I would call it like y'all are living in like your own like created nightmare.
Why is it only the Latin Americans? You know what I mean? Why is it not the Australians? You know how many Australians I know that live here and actually take your jobs?
There are approximately 600,000 undocumented immigrants from Europe in the United States. How come we're not seeing them being rounded up? Is it because they're white and not brown or black?
And why are we only targeting Latino immigrants? Is Asian immigrants, black immigrants, white immigrants, European, dare I say, you know?
I was an illegal immigrant in the United States of America, but because of the color of my skin and the color of my hair and who I am, I have never been questioned. I have never been questioned about whether I'm American. No one has ever said, do you speak English? Because they didn't assume that I couldn't because of being an immigrant. I am an immigrant in your country.
I cannot be the only one thinking this. So you guys know how the whole how Los Angeles is going through the immigration thing where ICE is popping up and just taking, children and families and everything. And we kind of already knew this was going to happen to a certain extent. I thought it would happen with like criminals and people that are in gangs and people that were not doing good things for this country, not literally hardworking people. But that's not the point. The point is that I remember back in the day when the whole Black Lives Matter movement was going on, and I supported it. I spoke up about it. I posted something about it, and I said something, right? Even though I'm not African American, honestly, why would I care? Because it is still something that's going on, and I did feel like it was unfair, and something should, be said. I know people are going to protest. I mean, could I have done more? Of course. But at the time, I did not. But at least I did speak up about it. What bothers me right now is that, like, a lot of celebrities or people, maybe influencers that we listen to, no one's saying anything. And I guess everybody has their own thoughts and opinions, and I completely respect that. I just feel like whenever they're discriminating against the other minorities, I'm going to be quiet and I'm not going to say anything, because where were you guys at right now? Like I said, I'm not African American. I didn't have to say anything. I didn't have to post about it. I didn't have to bring awareness to the subject, but I did, okay? Because it was still unfair, or at least I saw it as like police brutality. Like, what the heck is going on? And the reason why all these protests are going on as well is to bring awareness, to kind of say, hey, this is not fair. That's how change happens, right? But I just right now, like, going online and listening to some people's thoughts, and they're like, take them all away, deport them all. It's like, how could you be so insensitive? Like I said, I completely agree for deporting criminals and people that are actually doing harm to other people. But to innocent families, perhaps not. I do get that they broke the law. And I'm kind of, it's just the way that it's being done that it's just like, wow. I just kind of can't believe what's going on right now.
Anyways, guys, that's all I got for that video. And it's like a lot of people do not know that Black Americans have literally been in America, or Black Americans exist in America even before every other thing happened. A lot of white folks don't know that. A lot of people as well do not know that Black Americans literally exist in America. And it is so shameful that someone like me now have to remind you that Black Americans are not like Latinos. Black Americans are not like Hispanics. Black Americans are not like Asians. Black Americans are not like Africans. Black Americans are not generally immigrants that migrated to America just in search of greener pastures and every other stuff. Even before America, colonization and everything that happened, segregation, redlining, there were already Black people living in America. I don't know how I should be sounding this and ringing this. There were people living in America. There were already people enjoying America. There were already people staying in America. Even before every other thing, white man issue started. So because this white man came into the picture, reclassified a lot of things, and made it look like Black Americans were not worth it, or made it look like Black Americans are this or that, doesn't really mean that they can come, wake up one morning, and then chase Black Americans. And the question is, why is all of this coming now that Black Americans are now saying we are sitting out? Why is all of this coming now that Black Americans do not want any issue with anybody? Why is all of this coming now that Black Americans are saying, we have literally told you guys what we needed to tell you? And the more you keep pushing this, the more it is going to affect you. Why is it that is now that every small matter will now wake up and want to advise Black Americans? Why is it that is now every teenager will now wake up and want to remind Black American, oh, Black American, that thing that you said blah, 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 you said this, you said that, oh, don't worry, they are coming for you next, blah, 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 blah. Nobody's coming for Black Americans, darling. And the earlier you realize that, the better for each and every one of us. Because I feel like a lot of you people do not even realize the depth of what you say before saying it. You just go ahead and say things because you feel like saying them. And of which, at the end of the day, you're causing more harm for yourself than good. Black Americans cannot be overthrown. Black Americans cannot be rejected. Black Americans cannot be moved out of America. Nobody can literally come for Black America. You know, when people generalize Black people, personally, I add immigrants that are Blacks as well. In fact, I even add people of color as well. So when you're saying it specifically, don't generalize it as Black people. Generalize it as foundational Black Americans, indigenous Black Americans. Nobody can literally uproot them out of America. Even the orange man knows. He have said it countless times that these people built America. These people made America who America is. So I think everybody should wake up from that dream of they are coming for you next, blah, 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 east, west, north, and south. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section, and credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best, and thank you so much for staying stick and hook with me to the end of this video. Yes, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.